I hope you'll be able to hear. In Istanbul tonight, it's crazy stormy. And also the call to prayer is going on. That means that a person who might be a volunteer, they might be an employee, but they could very likely be a volunteer, left their home in this crazy storm to go to the neighborhood mosque, turn on the sound system, and do the call to prayer, which is 5 times every day, starting before the sun rises, to remind everyone in the city about the meaning of it all. I'm a person that has really amazing things happen. Like I live an unusual life. And I say that with some caution because when you make music for a living and you're a public figure on any level, people assume that means you have a whole lot of money. And for most of us, it's not true. And, I don't think that I would be considered wealthy or rich or even middle class, to be really honest. Depending on what you mean by that, it's all relative. But I am wealthy, and my wealth comes from the fact that I sustain my family doing what I love to do. And my experiences and relationships are priceless. There's too many stories to tell. I don't have containers for it all. But sometimes I make songs out of them or whatever, but there's a story that I have to tell while you can see this storm going on and this beautiful human being doing the call to prayer in the background. And it illustrates the beauty in humanity, but also why we live in this beautiful city of Istanbul. So the city of Istanbul is separated. About a block that way is a strait of water called the Bosphorus that connects the sea in the north and south. A strait of water that separates the city of Istanbul in 2 parts. One is the European side, is on the European continent, where the Hagia Sophia, the Blue Mosque, most of the tourist stuff is on that side. On this side is literally the edge of Asia. After the water, this begins the Asian continent, and we live in a district called Üsküdar. Old school, traditional, very dope. We really love it. But when you live in Üsküdar, you spend a lot of time in boats on the water. Like the ferry is one of the best ways to get over there. It's beautiful. It's very inexpensive. But my wife has dropped a bunch of stuff in the Bosphorus. Like she lost like multiple pairs of sunglasses, and like it's a joke in our family how much stuff she's dropped in the water. But so about 6 months ago, we're on a boat celebrating the birthday of one of our friends' daughters. And somehow my wife is helping some of the babies off the boat, and she drops her watch, not on the boat, not on the dock, but it just happens to fall in the Bosphorus. And she watches it sink to the bottom of the sea. Nothing we can do about it. So, we don't think much of it. It's not as funny as dropping sunglasses, but it's just part of living here. It's so many amazing things happen here that it's just like, okay, this part, just part of it. In any case, about 2 weeks ago, I start getting these phone calls from a Turkish number that I don't recognize, texts and phone calls. And immediately I'm stressed out because I don't speak Turkish. I can order food, I can tell a cab driver where to go, I can be polite to my neighbors, I can greet people at the mosque, but I don't speak Turkish. I need to learn Turkish. Because Turks don't speak English, most of them don't even speak Arabic. Turks speak Turkish, and I'm in their country, I need to learn the language. So just getting these messages has already given me stress. Then the person sends me a photo, and it's a man's hand with my wife's Apple Watch on the hand, and it took me a minute to even figure out what's going on. So then I start to click in, and I'm using the Translate app to send messages. It turns out this person is in Izmir, which is 4.5 hours south of Istanbul, but it's on the water. The Apple Watch washed all the way down to Izmir. This person saw it in the water, dug it out of the water, went to the store, bought a charger for the Apple Watch, plugged it in, it still worked after months being in the sea. Not only that, they looked in the watch and found my wife's emergency contact, which is me and my Turkish number, which is how they're contacting me. They reached out to me and said, we want to ship this to you. We've been trying to find you. We've been trying to get a hold of you. We just need your address. And they said, I'm so sorry, but the charger cost us 100 lira, which is about 10 US dollars. Actually, not even anymore. And also the shipping, to ship to Istanbul will be about 100 lira. We're so sorry. We wish that we could pay this ourselves, but we don't have it right now. And could you send the money? So I wired them the money. The next day, the watch is in our house. But here's the amazing part. Turkey is going through a really devastating financial crisis right now. The Turkish lira has fallen in value. And it's really sad because Turkey is a tremendously generous country. They've taken in millions of refugees, millions of guests and visitors. Like, it's one of the beautiful reasons why my family moved here. They give billions of dollars in foreign aid. There's all kind of medical tourism here because the prices are low, but the quality of medical care is really high. It's just a very, very generous place. And it's really sad to see hardworking families that have, struggled and done everything right, going through this financial crisis. It's hard for them to send their kids to college. So this family that couldn't afford, they wanted to spend the 200 lira, which is about 20 US dollars, to buy the charger and to ship the watch to us. It didn't even occur to them to keep this Apple Watch that they found or to try to sell it. It didn't even occur to them. They're like, we have to return this to the people that we found it. To me, that's more amazing than the fact that it washed down shore 4 hours, or the fact that it still worked, or the fact that somebody dug it out of the ocean, out of the sea. It's that somebody dug deep enough in themselves that they wouldn't even consider keeping it or selling it, but they wanted to give it back to the person. And then once we got the watch, they hit me up and they said, how is it that you're in this country? And I told them my wife and I became Muslims and we live here. So they said, we're gonna save some money. We're gonna make a visit to Istanbul. We wanna take your family out for dinner because we're so happy that you became Muslim and we're so happy that you live in this country. I know it's a lot of rough things going on. I know that the human condition means that a lot of people are doing things that are just devastating, heartbreaking, infuriating, and all of the above. But the other end of the human condition is that some people are very, very beautiful. And so I just wanted to share that story. Peace and love from Istanbul.